Hi, everybody. Pastor Dale here. I hope you're having a good week, and I hope you had a nice Easter. For those of you who are part of the congregation of Community Reformed Church, you know we had a couple of scares in the past couple of days. One of our members, Ron Kelly, was rushed to the hospital with some difficulties, and he's home now, thank God, and recovering. And another one of our members, Mike Mecklenburg, had a sister who was airlifted to a hospital, and she is recovering now. I think one of the difficulties in both of those situations that really hit home for a lot of us was the fact that the way things are now in this COVID-19 world that we're living in was the fact that their spouses, their families, their friends were not allowed to be with them in the hospital. And as a pastor, when I got that call that Ron, for example, my own congregant, was on his way to the hospital, my normal practice is, in as much as I am able, in a situation like that, is to then make my way to the hospital and to be with him. And I couldn't do that. There was nothing I could do. I just had to stay home. And that's very disorienting. It's very frustrating. It's very heartbreaking. But I started thinking about today as I was looking at the text that I'll be preaching on this Sunday. The fact that the disciples, as they were living in a post-resurrection world, they living in this time after Jesus was resurrected, they were trying to figure out what it meant to live as Christian people in a world when Jesus was seemingly absent from them and yet somehow present with them. And so they were trying to answer this question, well, how do we have presence in the midst of absence? What does it mean to move forward in the world with the presence of Jesus when physically Jesus is seemingly absent from us? And last night I started thinking about that because that's in a lot of ways a question that many of us now are sort of forced to have to deal with in a very real way. Not just in hospital situations, but in our own lives. We're not able to be present with each other the way we normally are. We're absent in a way that is difficult. And yet, we're also learning to be present with each other in a way that, in many ways, is very beautiful. I did a Zoom call last night with four very close friends of mine that I've known since childhood, back in Virginia, and we all live in different places now, but we've known each other for 35 years, and we all talked last night, and to see each other's faces and to hear each other's voices and to laugh and to cry, to hear each other's joys and to hear the pain in each other's lives right now was just really a remarkable thing. And the pain of being absent from each other's lives, but yet the mysterious way in which we were still able to be present with each other was something unlike what we've experienced before. And so I wonder if during this time that we're living in, we are being presented with a new type of opportunity to learn how to be present in the midst of being absent. I mean, that sounds kind of strange, right? But there was an old mystic in the early 16th century who once said that, could it be that God often makes his presence known the most in his absence? Could it be that when God is seemingly absent, that is when God is the most present? And so, friends, during this time that we are unable to be physically present with each other for the most part, I wonder if there's a way that we can still learn to be present with one another through prayer, for example, through praying for one another, through the way that we connect with one another on Sundays, through Facebook and through YouTube and through our exchanges with one another. There's a few of us, several of us in the church who are on a texting thread, and this sounds a little trivial, but all we do is we text funny things to each other. We're all in the same church, and we just text funny things to each other because I think we need to laugh right now. Honestly, I think we do. There's a something that is often said during Easter time, particularly on Easter Sunday, but we're actually in the season of Easter right now. The season of Easter continues for 40 days after Easter Sunday. But there's the response in our liturgy where the pastor says, "He is risen." And the people respond, "He is risen indeed." That's something that we have said for centuries. It goes back to the early centuries of the church. But in one particular church tradition, it's in the Orthodox tradition, there's another phrase to that liturgy that I think is quite meaningful. And it goes this way: "He is risen. He is risen indeed." And then together, the response is, "I see Christ in your face." I wonder if that's the way that during this time, when we're unable to be together face to face, we're unable to take communion face to face, we're unable to experience baptisms, all of the things that that are so dear to us as a church. I wonder if we need to recover this beauty, this mystery of learning to see Christ in the faces of those around us. Whether it's over the computer, whether it's on the street of people walking by. I just saw somebody walk by now. Whether it's through the people in our own home, the people that we live with. God is present. I'm not sure what God is doing in the world right now with all of this that's going on with the virus and the tornadoes and the economic difficulties. It's a strange time, and it's okay to be grieving. It's okay to hurt. But what I can tell you is God is present. So in this time in which we're trying to figure out what it means to be present in a time of seemingly being absent, let's try to see Christ in each other's faces. I miss you and look forward to seeing you soon, and hope to see you this Sunday as we meet once again on Facebook and YouTube for our weekly service. Peace be with you. Amen.